cat-cow is a wonderful yoga posture that is great for our entire spine, but also our pelvic floor. Whenever we flex our spine or round, our tailbone tucks, which shortens our pelvic floor muscles. When we extend and lengthen, our tailbone extends, which stretches pelvic floor muscles. So when you're doing cat-cow in the different ways that I have offered for you, think about that motion of the pelvic floor, but also try to connect your breath and movement. So as you extend, try to inhale, which gets the pelvic floor to move down towards our feet. And as you flex, exhale, which has the pelvic floor move up towards our head. So the reason why I love this sequence of motions is because not only are we moving the pelvic floor kind of in an outwards and inwards motion, we're also moving it in an up-down motion. This range of motion that we experience at the pelvic floor really has lovely benefits all the way up to our head. So as we're doing that motion, we're also coordinating our entire spine from our cervical all the way down through our thoracic, lumbar, and then into that tailbone and pelvis. So find your breath, relax through the motion, and enjoy. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and explore some options for cat-cow. So this position you're gonna get on your hands and knees, and the special considerations here is I want your shoulder, elbow, and wrist to really line up. And then when we look towards the back, we want our hip and knee to line up. If you at all have any knee issues, putting a towel roll, a blanket, or even some foam underneath your knees will help soften and make that better. I oftentimes will fold my yoga mat over to allow for some more support through my knees. Here for my wrists, this is a pretty aggressive angle of wrist extension. If this at all does not feel comfortable there, you can simply make your hand a fist and put your fist down. Now my wrist is nice and straight, and this is another solution. Some people might get a special block or wedge that allows their hand to be positioned slightly down and their wrist elevated. My wrists are okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and place my hands like this. In this cat-cow position, what you're gonna go ahead and do is you're gonna drop your belly, extending through your low back, looking up and forward. Then you're gonna go ahead and draw your belly in, taking your gaze towards your pubic bone or belly region. When we drop, I want to make sure during this opening that I'm not craning or stretching with my neck. I just take it to a position where I feel comfortable and don't go any further than that. Then when I'm curving through here, I'm really focusing on pushing the ground or table away from me as I suck or pull my belly button in towards my spine and round at my pelvis. Now to add an extra layer on here, I will have people inhale as they're opening through the front of the body and exhale as they round or decrease that space in our belly. Inhaling nice and slow, and then exhaling throughout the entire movement. I'll show you again with inhale. And then exhale. As we're going in this motion, try to keep those elbows pretty straight. Sometimes people want to do more this motion. Also, try to keep those hips pretty evenly spaced over the knees. Some people will rock backwards when they're doing this. They might rock forwards. They might drop their chest. But it's really that nice, even extension and flexion from head all the way to tail that we're looking for. We're going to go ahead and explore how to do cat-cow in the seated position. This is great for when you're at work, you've been sitting at your desk for lots of hours working hard, and you need to kind of break up some of that tension through your body. So again, I like people to kind of scoot to the front part of their chair, still allowing their thighs to be supported by the surface. Then what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to arch, opening the front part of your belly. Then you round, kind of collapsing through that front part of our belly. As I arch, I like to think that I'm sitting tall and I gently look up with my head, not all the way up to the ceiling like this. That can oftentimes hurt or strain our necks. But we just gently arch, sitting nice and tall as if a string is pulling us along. Then we round, really dropping this pelvis back as we round from the tip of our head all the way down to our tail. So ultimately, when I'm having someone do cat-cow, especially in sitting, I want you to focus on what's happening at that pelvis. So our pelvis is right here, okay? You can put your hands right on that. These nice high-waisted yoga pants kind of show you where my pelvis is. So here, when you're practicing this, see if when you arch and look up to the ceiling, you feel your pelvis tilt forward, like I'm pouring water out through the front of my pelvis. Then when I go ahead to move backwards, I feel the front part of that pelvis come up, and I'm now pouring the water out the back side of my pelvis. Oftentimes people do more of just their chest like this. So you can see when I'm doing this, my pelvis isn't moving at all. And the purpose of this exercise or movement is to really get that lengthening and extension throughout our full spine. We can inhale here and then exhale, getting that reverse curve and flexion forward. So go ahead and try that out and see how you feel and what your body experiences.